Welcome to the Gourmet Meals kitchen. I'm Daniel and today we're going to make a pasta tomato sauce. You can use it for all kinds of pasta like spaghetti, penne or your cannelloni, and of course also for lasagna, which we have in another video take. And so we're going to first do all the prep, all the vegetables that we need for that tomato sauce, and then we move over and actually show you how to put it together. Now, first thing we have here is like 5 ripe Roma tomatoes. We cut out the core on the top and we're just going to dice the tomato up. It's always easy to use actually a serrated knife, just cuts easy to tomatoes. Unless you have really sharp knives, but otherwise you're going to make a bit of a mess of it. The next ingredient is just 1 onion. If you have really large onion, you might just want to use a half one, but that's fairly decent, sort of 100 gram onion. So I'm just going to peel that and then chop it up. It doesn't have to be too fine because it's going to be cooking in our sauce or simmering for about 3/4 of an hour. Now if the knives are sharp, that makes the job much easier. My knife is not too bad, but yeah, it could be actually a little sharp. Okay, so that's 1 onion here. The next ingredient also is celery. We use a bit of celery in here. I got here some celery tops, I'll use some of that. And probably a piece of the whole celery. I'm not going to use all the celery, it's a bit much, but like just about that. What you do is you just cut it lengthwise once, and then you just basically cut it into cubes. You can put that together with the onions, that's fine. Also going to put 1 clove of garlic to the onions as well. Okay, now for our next ingredient, we have carrots, and we're going to grate them. I use about 2 small carrots. Obviously if you have larger ones, then just use 1. Now I haven't peeled the carrot because it's a very clean carrot, but of course just give it a good wash, and you know, like there's always a lot of nutrients in the skin. So like that. So the last ingredient we prep for now is going to be a bit of leek. I'm just going to use a piece of the white part of the leek, about this size, and I'm just going to basically dice that up, so cut it a couple of times lengthwise and just cut. I have a little bit of chili, so of course, now with the chili, of course it just depends on how much heat you want in your sauce. Now you can of course go totally without it, or you can put a whole chili in, but this one is actually bird's eye chili, which is quite hot. So I'm going to use about half, because just to get a little bit, and I'm going to put that just on the tomatoes. Okay, we're going to the cooking part now. We just take some olive oil, good hint of olive oil, and we're going to put in the, like we said before, the onions, the garlic first. Now make sure the pot is warm, so it sort of starts sizzling when you put it in, and you just sweat the onions on. It will take just a minute. The onions are now nice and shiny, glossy. I'll put in the celery, and also going to put in the carrots, which give, of course, some nice sweetness to the sauce. With all those vegetables, you know, you just get this beautiful flavor in the tomato sauce, which are all, of course, natural flavors with plenty of sweetness and plenty of acid as well. Now we're going to put the raw tomatoes in, and also we're going to put in the tomato paste. Okay, let's just give it a stir. Now also, our next ingredient, I'm going to put in a bit of sea salt flakes. It's probably just a little bit healthier than your normal salt, but of course if you don't have it, you can use normal salt as well. I'm going to put in a bit of pepper, and I'm also going to add some Italian herbs. Now of course you can use fresh herbs, especially oregano or any other herbs that you like, really. I'm also going to put in a couple of vegetable cubes, which you just buy in the supermarkets. I'm sure you know them. And I'm also going to put in 1 glass of water. And now this sauce just needs to simmer for, well, the longer basically the better. The Italians, when they cook obviously tomato sauce, they cook it all day long. Okay, now we're just going to put the lid on, turn the heat down so it just simmers, probably about on 2, and you just simmer it for half an hour, and then we take it from there again. Okay, now you got to check that tomato sauce obviously every sort of 15 minutes, you know, you don't have to do too much to it. It will just simmer as long as you don't have it too hot. And you know, obviously that's been going now for about 25 minutes, so I'm just gonna try that. So the taste is very nice actually, so I'm not gonna put any more spices in, but I think it's a little bit weak on tomato, so I'm gonna put in the same amount of tomato paste again. And also I'm gonna now add the leek to it, and that's basically nearly the finish. We have to do one more thing at the end. We have to bind it a little bit with starch. But so all we do is we cover it one more time. We leave it for about another 10 minutes, and then it should be ready to do the starch. Okay, let's finish our tomato sauce now. It's nice and chunky with heaps of vegetables inside, so a lot of goodness. So we cooked that for about 45 minutes now. And remember, the longer you simmer it, the better it is. I mean, you could go with less, of course. But so we need a bit of cornstarch here as well, just to finish it up. I'm gonna use most likely about 1 or maybe 1.5 teaspoons. And again, just dissolve that in a bit of water. Again, don't put too much in at once, just put in a bit. Stir it all through and just see if that is the thickness you want. Yeah, it's just going to be nice. I'm just going to put in a tiny bit more. It also probably depends what you're going to use it for. We're going to use it in a lasagna this time, so I want to make it a little bit thicker because the vegetables, they give you actually that extra water when you put it in the oven. But of course, if it's too thick, it's probably not good either. So, but that's about it. As you can see, it's nice and sort of creamy.